Hello again, my name is Pia Prana-McGrood and I work with women who consider themselves good girls or recovering good girls like myself. And today, previously I've talked about how we wear masks as good girls and the importance of removing those masks so we can live authentically. And in the past, I know I've talked about how it requires unlearning old conditioning that taught us that authenticity made us unlovable. So today I want to delve a little bit deeper into how you can reparent yourself with compassion and to really embrace your own humanity, or our own humanity. Because many of us learned as children to hide parts of ourselves in order to feel safe or to earn love, and often that was conditional love. We repressed emotions, we repressed needs and vulnerabilities because it was a survival mechanism for us to it is one of the trauma responses to please. It's called fawning, and it's pleasing and appeasing. We become who we think the outside needs us to be in order to feel safe. And there's many other reasons as well, which I won't go into in this video. But unraveling this conditioning as adults takes intentional nurturing of our inner child. And of course, you don't have a child inside of you, but it's the part of us that still carries a shame or belief of our unworthiness. So it's like the energy that still lives inside of us, and actually who very often, the less work you've done on yourself, the bigger part this inner child plays. So if you can imagine in your mind's eye that you as an adult, there's a silhouette of you. And then if you draw then inside of the adult silhouette of you, you draw a smaller silhouette, which represents your inner child. Now, the less work you've done, that inner child there would be a very small gap between the adult you and the inner child you, which means that inner child you, really the unhealed part of you, is at the driver's seat. And the more you heal, the more you take conscious steps to change and to give this part of you love and acceptance, that inner silhouette, for lack of a better word, becomes smaller and has less of an impact. So reparenting is an important part of that process. It requires awareness. It requires a lot of awareness of that inner dialogue that's going on. Paying close attention to your self-talk, your beliefs. Does your self-talk tend to lean towards criticism or encouragement? It's important to notice that. And often, I know in my own journey, I noticed that, oh my God, I was actually quite shocked to hear how my inner critic or superego was bashing at me again and again. Another question, do you really honor your emotions, or do you swallow? Do you suppress them just out of habit? Because when we notice the negative self-judgment or the continuous swallowing of what's really true to you, you've got to start intervening with wisdom, with care, with sensitivity, with love. So rather than criticizing yourself for perhaps falling back into people-pleasing patterns and habits, something I actually did this week, and I'm glad to say that it doesn't happen often, but it was a very obvious one I noticed for myself. You can fall into saying, or you can try to say, I know you're just trying to protect yourself, but you're safe now. Now imagine that's the voice of a caring, loving parent. Yeah? So we must parent ourselves today with the unconditional love and acceptance that we deserved back then, but perhaps we did not receive. And this is not a bashing of parents who were doing their best. So many parents are blindly parenting when they're actually in a lot of pain or have suffering from their own childhoods and not having their needs met. But now as an adult, you're in a position to reparent yourself so you can come back to a place of love and acceptance. Because we can't change the past, but what we can change is how we're relating to ourselves today. And some days this means speaking gently to yourself when you make a mistake. It's like, it's okay. You're learning and growing. Yeah? That's what a loving, unjudgmental parent would say, like, right? Other days it's acknowledging a difficult feeling rather than silencing it, right? I notice that you're sad. Let's feel this together. Or I notice that you're angry. We can feel it together. You don't have to swallow it. And with practice, you can cultivate this inner relationship based on respect, based on care and compassion. And then we can come home to all the aspects of ourselves, dark and light, strong, but also those parts that perhaps feel a bit weak. And really making sure that no part of yourself is denied love. So it's about relating to ourselves as we would a close friend, somebody we really love, with unconditional positive regard, with, and that is unconditional acceptance, love, or affection towards ourselves, with empathy and encouragement. And part of this reparenting process is also grieving what we needed as a child but did not receive. And that's a big one. Yeah, that's a big one. Because as children, we have so many needs. And often parents are just so overwhelmed with all the to-dos. And also, if there's more than one child in a household, it's a lot, right? But now as an adult, we can see that. We didn't see that back then. So as you give yourself permission to grieve, it helps you to break the cycle of then self-abandoning yourself. Yeah. And not acknowledging that grief is there, not acknowledging the various emotions that are there that never had space. And then now we can give it to ourselves, what you didn't receive. You can set healthy boundaries and start meeting your own needs. And that becomes like an act of self-compassion. We can take loving care of our inner child. And meditation is a wonderful way to do that. Also, just doing inside a meditation, having like a inner visualization, seeing yourself with your inner child, seeing yourself hold your inner child, and really feel what's there, because it's through the feeling that we can heal. So you can understand all these things on an intellectual level, but unless you really sit with the feelings, you're not really going to move far from where you are. And with time, a self-acceptance becomes natural. And you'll start noticing that your inner dialogue changes from shame to love, or from shame to support and acceptance. And start really building deep trust with yourself. And then the more you embrace the totality of who you are, the less you seek that external validation from others. And that's a big part of the good girl. We look outside of ourselves to feel acceptance, feel like we're part of something and that we're okay. And then our wholeness is a home we never want to leave, right? And this takes time, and it takes commitment. And it takes awareness that it's there. And I know for myself, it took so many years for me to even realize that any of this stuff was there. I was so unaware. I mean, sure, I was aware of my deep unhappiness, but it stopped there. But the more you can relate to yourself as a wise, nurturing protector, the easier authentic living becomes. You start building trust with yourself. So you no longer need to seek this external validation, because you deserve this radical self-acceptance. You deserve to feel relaxed in your own skin. You deserve to really feel the love that is actually your birthright. And you know, when we look at humanity, we have this shared mosaic of perfection and imperfection. Yeah. And let's just honor the full spectrum of who we are within us. And remember that we are worthy of love. You are worthy of love just as you are. So please, in the comments, I'd love to hear what touched you today, what was valuable, what gave you pause to think, feel, and do something different today. So until the next time we meet in another video, from my heart to yours, I wish you a beautiful rest of your day and week. Bye for now.